We'll start in a minute or so. Just trying to fix the settings a little bit. I don't have all of my equipment that I normally do, so I think you're seeing my ceiling. That's not fun. I'm going to try a different settings. Give me 1 minute. Alright, we'll go with this. Hopefully you guys could hear me. If no, I'm sorry. I know the mic setting's a little off here. And I'm looking at myself in a really weird angle. So, probably have to do some different type of live stream here. But, we'll make it work. So, no, that sounds awful. I'm going to be right back and see if I can fix something. So, alright, hopefully that's a little bit better. Let me try a different mic here. I can't see me though. It's like a black screen of death. Okay. How many licks does it take to get to the bottom of a Tootsie Roll Pop? Maybe 20? 30? Alright. For some reason the mic and the audio is thinking it's a whole new world. So, just gonna mostly talk and see if that makes it any better. Let's go to the camera here. You're not missing much besides a chunky teacher. So we're just going to look at some possible positions that I was considering for the next week. And these are monthly positions, by the way, looking at 4 weeks out. Here are some of the settings that I'm going to be using. We have Delta 0.3 to 0.1. Days for expiration, I did 25 to 45, so some of these are a little past a month. Return on risk, at least 4%, up to 8%, so I want to get around 1% a week on average. Last trading price, we're going to go from 20 and up, and I might change this down lower than 20. Implied volatility, at least 100%, up to 200 to get rid of the AMCs in the world, and a little bit of open interest. So when I scan it, I get 32 positions up to 41. So I made this initial scan, it was 32. Now it increased mostly because like volatility did increase right before close. And I made this screen about 2 hours ago. It was only 30 or so positions, now we're up to 40. You get a lot of the similar players that we see a lot. Riot, Spice, Mara. There are some new ones like STEM that we're going to consider. More Riots and Spices, very juicy and hot out there in the volatility world. Now, here are some of the positions that I'm considering for all 7/16, okay? So looking for monthly premiums here. If you're new to the channel, I look for positions that average at least 1% per week, and then I typically buy to close them at 50% profit so that you'll be able to get a good amount of that early theta decay, and then get out of position when there might be more risk involved, and just rinse repeat, keep doing those positions over and over again. The PBLY, it's all cash puts, by the way. PBLY cash put at 30 is a new stock that I was considering. Look at the chart of it. Okay. Maybe it doesn't want us to trade us this because it's not showing the position either. PLBY? Okay, PLBY, sorry about that. Has a bit of an uptrend here. And then the last few days have been in the downturn. Has a reasonable support around 40. Then in the 30s, it's kind of consolidated. Had a big upswing, starting to be on a slight downtrend, so a little hesitant on that. We're looking at the 30 strike price. So still has a little bit of room to go, about 20% out of the money. And we'll be receiving, that's at least 4%. Let's see what the percent is at the 30 strike. Be hard to close it today because the market just closed. 85 or so is the midpoint. A little less than I normally look at. We're looking at around 3% here. Delta is pretty reasonable at 0.16. Something to consider, but there might be better possibilities. So good, Matt's 26. We'll consider the premium first. Mars at 28. Down to 26. This did have a pretty big downturn in the last hour or two, because the premium is higher there. So let's change the strike a little bit further out, get a little bit more cushion here. If you go to the 23 strike, looking at almost $1, so $100 in premium there, 4%. That's 0.17. And let's consider the chart. Did have a downturn around 1920, but now it's more on that uptrend. It's up to 28 in the fairly long term. So possible position here around the 25, 26. Still gets that premium. I'd buy to close it at about 0.5 or so. We have STEM at 30. STEM is a position I did earlier this week. About to close it at about a 1% profit in about 2 days. It's showing an uptrend, quite a bit of an uptrend from May to now. Strike price at 30. Zoom in on this one a little bit. It's from the last few days. Notice that it touched near 30 a couple of times. Didn't actually get lower than 30. And if we look at the premiums of it, again, looking at almost 18% out of the money for a month, like a decent cushion. July 16th at 30. It's paying more than the 4%, paying 1.7. The 25, unfortunately, is not paying nearly as much, and there's no change between them, but a lot of open interest, 11,000 last we looked, and you could get about 5% for the month. So STEM at 30 looks like a possible one. That's the best of the three so far. FGen, their fuel generator, 17.5 or the 20. It's a 26.96, 17.5. showing a big range in the bid ask, so these numbers look a little bit off. They're going to probably change on Monday at the open, but if you could get 100 for it, you get 5% for a month. And we're looking at 16 delta. So far, so good. FGen chart really high in March, dipped a lot, hit around 19 once, hit around 19 again. On the uptrend now in the 20s, up to 26. I think 20 is a very good buffer here, so you get a good chance of buying the close it relatively early. Again, 30% out of the money is good as well. So 20 looks like a good one, but you got to make sure that you go for around 1, even 0.9 or so should be okay. We have Microvision at 16. In early May, it hit the 13s, 14s, up to 1884. 16 is going to pay pretty well because of high implied volatility on it. At the 15, you're paying again around 0.95 or 1. Get at least 8, 9, 10% return there. Delta's 0.2. We could go a little bit further out. Stock did decrease before I made the PowerPoint here. Can go down to even 14 or 13. 13 pays 0.45. 45 over 13. And at about 3.5%, and the delta's 0.11. I think this could be a good option to play at 13 instead of the original 16. Anyone in the chat that's listening in, if you want to consider any positions, please let me know in the chat. SPCE. $36.30. Considering at the 30, so you're about 20% out of the money. For some reason they're coming up. Let's look at the chart. Huge downturn down to 15, shot up to 36. Doesn't have many supports and resistances. It's a roller coaster ride here, so I don't particularly like on it. But 30 does give a decent cushion. So the option chains came back up. Or it didn't. So I'm not going to recommend SPICE because of that big drop. However, remember when I looked it up, it did pay well. MLXC is another one, 7.5. This is 1162. $7.5 paying about 63 in the midpoint. 63 divided by 7.5. At 8% for the month, very good return for the month. Delta at the 7.5, only 14%. Does have high IV. Chart at 7.5. Again, had a pretty big upturn here. It touched 10 once. Slight downtrend towards the 10. Here's the 7.5. Again, chance I could hit it. But if you bought it close at 50% profit, I think it's a pretty reasonable play here. Okay? So those are the options that I'm considering for this week. I see that there's no one else left on the chat, so I'm going to leave now. If there's any comments or thoughts, please let me know in any of the videos. Make sure to read all those comments. And market is a little bit rough out there right now, but try to go way out of the money. Go with 30, 45 days expiration, buy to close early. And that's our strategy. It's been working really well. Let's look at my return so far for the month. At $18.85 for the month. I've been investing about $38,000. A very good month so far. Looking at a 4, almost 5% return, which I'll take all the time here. So again, follow along on any of my previous videos. I do customer puts pretty much way out of the money. 30-day expiration, buy to close, 50% profit. Been working really well right now. Make sure you have that good cushion, look for support levels.